My God, that was okay. Here we go. Okay, let's do this.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. So,
Where do we start? Where do we
where
start?
do we start? It's been an insane fucking 72 hours, man. It's. I mean,
Yeah, it
it's
really
been an
had.
insane like several days.
I definitely 100% could say I expected this song to go crazy, and I was like, I don't know how it's about to go crazy, but it's gonna go crazy somehow. Things are gonna fall into place, and it fell into place like really heavily, man,
I
really
mean, I
quickly.
don't. I mean, I think you're kind of playing a little coy there because I mean, it seems like very consciously, even from like I know with the music video, a lot of people are like, freaking out about oh the
Hmm.
devil, the lap dance, this, that, and the other thing. But like when you actually observe the theology references in the music video and the stoning and the killing and so on and so
Hmm.
forth, like
Yeah,
it's very clear that you're trying to start a conversation there because you're consciously referencing these biblical
yeah,
elements in such a way where when that reaction inevitably happens where you do have like those homophobic takes on you in the music video, like aha, I already knew you were going to say that. Like, here are the breadcrumbs in the music video where I'm kind of like referencing that stuff. And I'm, sort of illustrating that you're going to have this reaction through, sort of my persecution and the stoning and so on and so forth. So, I mean, you seem pretty conscious of the fact that this was going to stir some shit. And you sort of like, put your
absolutely.
retaliation, you put your response to that shit already in the video.
The thing was, it's like, I knew what the song was, and it's like this song is like obviously super explicit. It's like, about this guy who I like explicitly say like I want to fuck you,
Mm.
pretty much. And it's kind of like it's like, okay, people are going to say something about this song. Let me make sure this visual goes crazy, and it's also become like a message on so many other ends about how people even see when people reclaim things like going to hell, they get pissed, because it's like, oh, you're okay with that. You're supposed to be afraid of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as much of a big deal as people make over the lap dance, I feel like there's just not enough attention paid to the fact that you kill Satan at the end.
I literally killed Satan. I don't like. You should be applauding me. I killed him.
You killed the fucking guy. So I mean, though it does seem like immediately after that you kind of claim your rightful place at the throne of the underworld, which
And what do people picture me as now?
exactly. So
The video was basically like me prophesizing this exact
yeah,
moment.
I see it almost as like it's like a combination of to me the fact that it's riled people up and the reaction that it's had and the way that you've kind of orchestrated that, it reminds me of like the chaos of the Miley Wrecking Ball video, but then also like the way Death Grips like said fuck you to their fan base, like when they put out the Money Store and then came out with the record afterwards with the dick on the cover and everything. But there's actually like kind of a severely personal story about you in the midst of all of that chaos. Yeah.
Yeah. With this, like in general, it took like a lot, like this past year, for me to get like out of my comfort zone to even do something like anything remotely like this. Because like when I first came out, I was like, okay, let me like make sure I'm okay. I'm out there, but let me make sure I keep this like in this box right here. And then I realized it didn't matter. Like nobody was going to respect me more. Nobody was going to hate me any less. It's like, so I might as well do whatever the fuck I want to do, And I feel like, especially in the industry, like when gay artists or gay pop artists, or gay artists in general, like when they're here, like we have to be this respectable version of that. We have to be like super soft and super sweet, and it's like, no, I want to be fucking raunchy
Yeah.
sometimes. I want to make these songs like explicitly, like, okay, this is what I'm about to do. This is what we're doing.
Yeah, because I mean that
Yeah,
raunchiness is represented in heterosexual contexts in the music industry. As you're sort of
yeah,
saying, there's one thing to be out in the music industry, and it's another thing for that sexuality to be represented in your music in a bold way. Yeah.
yeah. 100%. I feel like we have a lot of artists who are afraid, which 100% makes sense. But it's like I've like over these past 3 years, like I've grown this feeling more and more of like, okay, I don't give a fuck what whoever thinks is like, because the right people that are for me are going to fuck with me. The ones that aren't for me aren't ever. So it's no point of sugarcoating anything.
So, I mean, obviously, with your conscientious decision to present yourself, present this song in this way, and also again, kind of work these narratives in the music video so that you have your own kind of like aha response prepared. Did you also anticipate like, look, literally everyone on the internet is going to come at me over social media, and when that happens, I'm just going to be like, was that already in your head, or did you just kind of like go into fight or flight mode on Twitter and you're just like, I'm going to just.
You know what? At first, when I first thought about this, when I first had the idea for like, okay, I'm putting this video out Friday. As it got closer, I was like kind of anxious. And I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna put this out, and then I'm gonna leave the internet for like a week. And then I was like, I'm not. I'm gonna put this out, and I'm gonna milk the shit out of this. I want to have fun with it too. And nobody's about to beat me at this internet shit. I don't care who they are. And like every single person from every place has been throwing shots, and they still are like to this day right now. I'm just not kind of replying to it as much anymore because it's like I'm more focused on these TikTok trends picking up and whatever and whatnot.
Yeah, the memes have been really good. The memes
Oh,
have been on point.
yeah, amazing. Yeah,
No, I think there's only a certain extent to which you can reply to all of it, because you get to a certain point where you're just saying the same thing over and over and over. Because
absolutely.
like the responses and the attacks against you aren't going to get any deeper than like the BS that Candace Owens is throwing at you. You know what I mean? You're just going to get different flavors of that same dumb argument over and over and over, which it has the same answer to it every time.
Every time.
When that kind of popped up on your radar, did you expect to kind of like, turn up in her feed at some point, considering the beef she's had with Cardi B and, various people before her?
I absolutely did. I absolutely did. And then once people were like making it like kept saying, I was like, oh, she's not going to do it now because everybody's saying it. She's going to want to prove them wrong. But she did it, and she fell right into the trap, I guess. 'Cause it's like, of course, I want to piss some people off with this, but I also want to make a point with this too. That I'm going to be able to do this, and I'm going to keep going. I'm going to still be here. Like, you're not going to cancel me. You're not getting rid of me because of this. You know? Yeah.
Not to just talk about the conservative grifters like Candace Owens, but to get a little bit more into, I guess, the religious aspects and community around this. You've been getting quite a bit of play out of some video clips of like pastors talking about, oh, you're going to hell and the Satan shoe, and all of which like look completely ridiculous. But you don't necessarily strike me, despite your comments talking about the ways in which religious dogma has kind of hurt you over the years. You don't strike me as someone who's necessarily anti-religion or anti-spirituality. So in your mind, just to like kind of make it clear for people who might be a little confused over the Satan stuff in the video and the people you've been making fun of as a result of the attacks on you, like, where does spirituality and Christianity sort of like sit in your mind? In an ideal world, are you looking for a situation where people are just like leaving the church in droves because of that dogma and because of that long-seated bigotry, or are you hoping to get to a place where this stuff can kind of coexist?
I mean, for me personally, I'm more of like, I believe in like, the universe and I like angels and numerology. That's kind of for me. I mean, there was a time where I was like anti religion or whatever, but now I'm just like, okay, do whatever the fuck you want, but like stay out of, don't try to control everybody else, pretty much. So it's like, okay, do you, but don't tell this person what to do. Don't kill this person because of this reason. You know, uh, don't tell these people they can't get married, or don't tell this person they can't have this sex change. Like, that's none of your business. If that person wants to do that, let them do that.
So it's
I don't have any
it's essentially like
really.
an anti-control argument. Your religion or your
Yeah,
spirituality shouldn't be a point of control of other people.
yeah, make it your life. Let it control your life, not other people's.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of the weird thing about a lot of these arguments and takes, that there sort of seems to be this greater obsession, and this is like always the narrative, even going back to when I was younger, and I remember like rock bands being on trial for saying crazy stuff in their lyrics or some shit like that. There always seems to be this like, "Oh, think of the children," sort of situation where you're worried about the downfall of society. And this has been the pitch for how many decades now, for how many generations? Like, when is the downfall happening? Because all of these people sort of seem to be referencing back to a time when, well, back then the downfall was happening too. Like, we were in the middle of the downfall then too. Like, we're making America great again to make it the time when we were also talking about the downfall happening. It's like we're always in this moment where the sky is falling, and I don't know.
Yeah.
It's sort of like it's just new to some people for some reason, or they're just not kind of getting hip to the fact that none of this is new, or it's just like old. Like, playing with the kind of imagery that you're playing with. Rock bands have been doing that since like forever. Why can't a rapper do it? Why can't you do it without making the point that you're trying to make?
I will say this, and I'm not even like trying to like play victim or anything, but like who I am, I feel like it's definitely a big part of this outrage more than not, because it's like a lot of people feel like they're allowing me to be in the music industry. They're like, okay, we're allowing you to be here, so you should be thankful for just that. But it's like you're not allowing me to be here. I got myself here, me and the people around me. So it's like, okay, you're this black gay man. Know your boundaries, know what you can do, know what you shouldn't do. You know, and that doesn't work for me. Yeah.
Got it. So once I have a few other things I wanted to ask you about the past 72 hours, but I guess we could dive into this a little bit further. Now that you've kind of, I'll say figuratively, you've kind of like broken a dam here. You've like really busted the shit open and just like, let the water flow forth. What does this mean?
Terms
Oh,
of
just in terms of like representing yourself in this way and kind of like, drawing these lines in terms of like what you're comfortable with saying and what you want to represent in your music and what you're not shy about saying, that's the kind of levee that's broken here in my view. Now that you've broken that, what does that mean for you from here on out when you're making a new song, a new music video, something? Are we reaching a point where a video or a song like this for you is a new normal, or are you going to continue just kind of like pushing boundaries and find yourself in places, well, sometimes I'll be driven by this because this is a part of me, and sometimes I'll just write songs about other stuff too?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, at the end of the day, like all of my music, especially in videos now going forward, it's going to relate in some way to my life or a situation surrounding my life. Like, this song's obviously like about a guy, but this video is like, okay, I'm in the garden of, you know, I don't fucking know, and hell, uh, but it's like I always want to try something new or like try to start a conversation in some way or do something fun sometimes. It's like it depends on what I'm feeling at that moment. Like I'm not coming out here like, okay, I am the leader of the revolution. Like, no, it's like this is what I just did. I'm going to do something different this next time, or maybe I'll do something similar. I mean, that's just how my career has been this thus far.
No, I think that's a really
Yeah.
important thing to make clear. You're not like trying to turn yourself into the leader of a movement here. Like, let's make it clear that maybe ultimately at the end of the day, like you wanted to make a point with this, but
I
this was
will.
very much about you and how you felt and getting your experience out there.
This is definitely about me, but I will say I definitely will. I am definitely a voice for that young generation of LGBT uh, growing up. I am definitely going to be like that face for a lot of them who will make them feel comfortable. I guess that I didn't feel I had as much growing up, and hopefully there's less like people growing up wanting to like die and hating themselves or whatever. I'm sure I'm sure this will help in some way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just to, I guess, normalize it in a way. I mean, going forward, I guess it's, I just want to, just as a reaction to that, I guess I would say, sort of being a voice to that also means sort of like having a responsibility to that community as well. And I guess going forward, like, I guess being as conscious as you can be to make sure that you're saying things and doing things, and I guess that sort of serves to help that community and sort of better it. I guess does that put pressure on you personally to, as you were sort of saying earlier, act in certain ways because you may be afraid of how you may make other people look on account of your actions?
I will say this. Yeah, I definitely see myself as that voice. I definitely see myself as sort of a role model, but I'm still 100% like a 21-year-old kid who's just now learning about the music industry and still learning. So I'm definitely going to still like fuck up. I'm definitely still going to make mistakes. I'm still going to say things. And, I still 100%, I speak for me first. I speak for Montero first. Everything else comes second. Yeah, and so I mean, I don't want there to be any like super expectations on how I'm going to like be a voice because I still like don't know a lot of the queer icons or whatever, or like know a lot of queer history or anything. So a lot of this is brand new to me. I need learning room. I need room to grow. Yeah, I'm still just pretty much fucking throwing whatever I can at my career right
Okay.
now, doing the best I can each time.
Well,
Yeah.
considering that, talk to me about, I know you flirted with this idea on Twitter, but like, are you actually planning a rollout of remixes for this track?
No, no, I was talking shit. I probably get remixes.
I mean, you did kind of revolutionize things in that way. I mean,
Isn't that crazy how many remixes there are nowadays?
yeah, it's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy how much that's happened. Yeah. Okay. Let's talk really quickly about the Nike suit situation, which seems it's like still developing, still ongoing. Depending on what you can tell me, are you in trouble? Is the shoe customization company that you worked with in trouble? Like, where does this seem to be falling right now?
I can't. I can't speak on that. I can't speak on
Well,
that.
I guess also like with the music video, when you decided to sort of do that shoe, did you anticipate that would kind of create the situation that's creating right now as well?
I 100% like not even kidding. I thought I would say, oh, like this is gonna be a fun thing to do alongside the video because it's like, okay, Satan, and then Satan shoes. I did not know that would become such a huge talking point in all of this. It definitely surprised me. Yeah.
I guess obviously with the tracks that you're putting out and the controversy that you're stirring, I mean, I would be a fool not to guess that you have a long career ahead of you. But at least from a business standpoint, does that worry you at all, considering how much, I guess, like things such as endorsement seem to be pivotal to the careers of certain artists out there? Does this make you worry that into the future it may be hard for you to work with other brands or something like that on account of like, Nike being angry or, the way that their product was represented in what you did without their permission necessarily?
Not at all. I feel like people are gonna fuck with me regardless. This is how I feel, like not like being cocky or anything. I don't think this will be like a thing where like, okay, we don't want to attach ourselves to this. I mean, if that were to happen, I know I'm gonna be good regardless. Like I'm not really worried. Yeah.
Okay. Can we talk a little bit about the musical moves that you're hoping to make in the immediate future? I mean, we don't just have to talk about all this stuff around the controversy in the video and everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
Look, outside of this track, like what are other track rollouts looking like right now? What producers or features are you working with, and are you working on the new record, the new LP currently?
I feel like the album is pretty much
Okay.
finished, honestly. Uh, I have a date in the summer, pretty early in the summer, like not like August,
Hmm.
September. What else? I love it. I've been working so hard on. I've worked so hard on. Hey guys, yo, fuck, where was I? Yeah, I've been working really hard on this album. I worked really hard to get this fucking video together. You know, like fucking weeks of pole dancing and going to the gym and fucking getting this CGI together. And shit, I've technically been working on this album for
Hmm.
2 years. Most of the music came from like the ending of last year and the beginning of this year because I've just been improving like more and more like on the sides of like the beats that I pick, the lyrics that I write, the melodies that I do on the song. It's been such a journey.
I mean, I
Yeah,
believe it because I mean, as online as you are, musically and artistically, since you put out the EP, you've been maintaining a pretty low profile. I have to imagine over that whole course of time, you've just been like, what is the new album going to be?
yeah, and it's like I've been 100% like working on that album and also like trying to block out all these fucking thoughts been like thrown at me left and right. It's like, oh, like he took too long and uh he'll never do this again, he'll never do that again, he's out of here, nobody cares and nobody takes him seriously. It's like, okay, fuck all that, let me get this together, let me plan this. I want to put this song out and it's going to go number one, it's going to fall into place, and this album's going to go number one, it's going to fall into place, and I got all of this, I want to make this happen. And it's coming to fruition right now, so
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, obviously there were other tracks off that EP that you did that hit, but I think with this new track, you've probably thwarted any idea in anybody's mind that you were going to be a one-hit wonder or something like that.
Absolutely. I mean, there's still going to be people that say that. I kind of just stopped caring, I guess. I mean, because the fact that this is happening like right now, like I'm looking at the video on my TV right now, but it's like a testament that I can always make it happen. You know, if something happened once, then you never know if it'll happen again. But if something happened twice, then it's bound to happen a third, fourth, fifth, six, seven, eight, nine, 10 times. Plus, I'm looking for a long, successful career, and that's what I'm going to have. And, there's like really nothing that's going to get in my way of that.
Okay. That's fucking determination. As far as I don't know, some of the beats and sounds that you're going for on this record, like what is that shaping up to be like right now? Like, are there any producers that you've been working with that you want to talk about?
It's still mainly day trip. I've been working with John Cunningham a lot too. Um, who else? Roy Lenzo, Omer Fetty, like a lot of people who worked on Call Me by Your Name. Been working with them a lot. It's still like all very different sounds though. It's like it's kind of like Seven, but much more cohesive, and the lyrics are much more put together. The stories, it's Montero. It's about me. It's about these things that have been happening in my life before fame, the things that are happening right now, the things that I'm looking forward to
Hmm.
happening.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, thanks for diving into the themes of that. Is there anyone feature wise that is coming along for the ride that's kind of helping you tell that story too? Okay. Shh.
Can't give away
Can't
too
give away too
much.
much.
I mean, but getting this next single ready. Uh, got to shoot the video
You know,
for
I
that.
think a lot of people want to know is there going to be a Nicki crossover at some point, considering how much of a hardcore fucking barb you are?
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe.
Okay, we'll see. Last thing I wanted to say and ask you is first, hey, thank you for taking the time. We appreciate you coming through. Thanks for being open about everything in the record and everything that's been happening over the past, few days. We're looking forward to everything coming down the pipe. And let people know, just to kind of make this clear, who is this record for? Because, let's like put it to rest, this idea that you're a kids artist. Oh, you're making music for kids. He loves
I
making.
will say
I mean,
this:
is
this record
yeah.
for everybody. I'm not saying kids can't listen to it. That's a clean version. Kids can go listen to the clean version. Um, this 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 record is for everybody. This album is for everybody. Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, thank you very much again for taking the time and talking to me, and we appreciate you coming through. And
And I want to say thank you for like your continuous support, like from the start. Uh, even like the shit that you tweet at me and stuff and everything. And thank you for like just always been a great entertainment in my life, because like fucking watching your reviews and shit kind of helped me a lot through this summer. It was a really hard last summer. But
I'm
thank you, man.
I'm
You're
glad
amazing.
someone was watching them. I'm glad somebody was watching them, because it was a shitty past fucking year. So I'm glad someone's getting something out of it.
All right, man. I'm Lil Nas X Tano. I'll talk to you guys
Yeah, I
later.
promise you, in the next review, along with the 0 out of 10, I'm obviously going to give the record. I mean, obviously, but I'll say Nasthani X Tano. I'll say, oh, it'll be I'll say Nasthani X Tano. I'll say that. All right.
Cool.
Well, have a good one, man.